Hello, hello, hello. We are back with round two of our Canon season. We have got Spa coming up with 22 laps of the race to come and plenty of excitement from the drivers on the way. So here we go, we've got roughly there's roughly 12 or 13 drivers currently out on track. We will go try and find who is leading the pack at the moment, work out who's on a flying lap to start. So we've got Oro here who's all on outlaps actually saying that currently. Jensen will be the first to do their flying lap, so we will see how he does in a moment and see what the benchmark will be for the drivers today. So Jensen's starting his flying lap now. He's coming up through turn one of his opening lap, and every driver's benchmark for today. So through Rouge he goes flat out, lovely through there at the moment, through the Camel straight he goes, down to turn 8 I believe, DRS wide open, slams the brakes on, nicely through them corners there, and heading through sector 2 now, where a lot of downforce is going to be needed. Depending on how Jensen has got his car set up, he should get through here pretty nicely. He's getting a lot of tow from the driver ahead and taking as much as possible as he can. Takes the double left hand there quite nicely. The Mercedes moving out of the way, giving Jensen a nice free run down to the end of his lap, and pretty much just a straight line now. He is currently on a 1:14.7 overall, roughly looking at a 1:41:42s maybe, more realistically for a fair few. There could even be actually probably a little bit potentially a bit slower. We'll see what Jensen sets. There we go, a 42.5 is the benchmark for the drivers. Oro with a 43.2 closely following. Here is Peter who's on his flying up. Here is, we'll see Ice come across the line, a little slide on the exit there of the final corner. He did lose a bit of time, and it's a 45.3 for him. Exception goes for the minute. Edgar now with 5th fastest time of a 44.6, a pretty good time for, well, pretty respectable time for the Aston Martin driver. Adam with a 45.9, Ninja coming in now with a 49.5. Here is Pizza, who's halfway through his lap now, looking pretty good through the bit of a U-bend there, and flat through this first part of the double hander, possibly a little lift on the second part of the double left hand corners. Looking good so far. A little bit further away from the apex from a couple of others, but still a fairly strong lap. What can he do through this final part, as we see plenty more times popping up on the timer screens now, and a fair few drivers with, well, in the 1:43s at the minute. Where competes Chuck this Mercedes at the minute? Coming through the final two corners we go now, and across the line for a 1 minute 45.5. It does put him just ahead of his teammate into P10. He goes P11 now instead for Peter, as EA did come across the line a moment a little while back as well. McCoy currently in 6th fastest with a 44.7. The one salvage of Badger has unfortunately DNF from the session. We've got the Williams of 7th minute coming through sector 2 at the moment, looking pretty strong through there, and who's just popped up through in the top 5. Ninja popping up into P4 now in his second run, so a little bit of a banker up for him to start with. Goes in 4th now, so lots of drivers looking, possibly going to be looking at maybe a second run for their next outing onto the track, as we saw 7 with a purple sector 2 there, and looking very, very strong so far. What has he made up, or potentially slightly lost through that final part of the lap there? And he goes 9th fastest with 44.5, and a pass has just jumped in to the top 15 minute of a 45.3 after time. So fairly close times with drivers at the minute. Not much separating Logan down to Adam, and also not much separating the top, second down to 7th at the moment either. So plenty of drivers could potentially improve on their next runs on in the next few minutes, or whenever they may be. So the final driver to set that time here is Alex, and he's on his way around the final couple of corners now. He has jumped into the pits to make everyone on edge and see what he can possibly do in the next few next 8.5 minutes roughly. So Clint is now on an out lap, so is Jensen. Plenty of drivers now getting ready to, getting prepared for another flying lap. We've got 7 here who's just started another flying lap, so he's opted for a double run to start his qualifying off. Edgar now 10th place in the Aston Martin at 44.6, and heading for another run in this qualifying session. What is the Aston Martin driver able to do? So from what I remember, a pretty double check, a pretty decent-ish race for for him last time out in Canada, but I'll probably check that now. So yeah, a P4 finish in Canada for Edgar, and no doubt will look to try and match that performance this time around. Has had a bit of a tough start to qualifying at the minute, but seems fairly strong on this run. He's 2.5 tenths up on his time per sector 2 as it shows for us. I'm not sure how true these purple sectors are with how dodgy they can be getting shown on driver screens. Who knows what they show for us. So final 2 corners we go. Edgar in the Aston Martin. Where can he put this car this time around? He does go up 1 place into 9th place and just ahead of the Williams of 7. Not the lap he would have wanted, but still plenty of time for him to go once again. EA here did go second fastest on his previous lap, just seeking across the line just behind the Aston Martin driver a moment ago. Clint is third fastest at the minute. He has just gone even quicker in that second sector now, 3.5 tenths up on his previous time. He's gonna hit the 142s, no doubt, but how much quicker can he be in this final part of the lap? He's headed into the pits. He doesn't want to give too much away at the minute, and fair play to him. Exception heading through the final couple of corners is 1 second slower, so he's possibly on an in-lap at the minute. Oro on an out-lap. Ninja on a fast lap potentially. Let's have a little look. He is on a fast lap as we, from what I can tell on the dash there. So 6th fastest at the minute for the Ferrari driver. Through the end of sector 2 we go. What can Ninja do this time around? 10th and a little bit up on his time. So where can he place this car? 43.3 is the time he needs to beat for his own personal chance this time around, and a 42.5 overall to beat. Not too sure how much quicker he's going to be at the minute, but he is looking fairly strong. Alex now smashing the fastest lap with a 42.1 there. Ninja with a 42.7. He has gone and taken a huge chunk of time off his previous run. Alex there just ahead of Ninja, smashing a brilliant lap in a 42.1. Just under half a second quicker than the Haas of Jensen, who now will be looking for an improved lap for himself. But what else can he do in that car at the moment? Plenty of drivers getting ready to make their final chances in this session. Who is going slowly? 7's going slowly at the minute. We will clearly going back into the pits. Capitano across the line, up into 14th fastest. He is half a second up on his time. A good, decent lap for Capitano. We only saw him come around the final corner, but well within a chance of jumping into the points this race. Only a few tenths off his 10th place, and quite a strong showing for Capitano in the race, and anything is possible. Round here, Oro unfortunately invalidating Ninja on his way to start another lap. What can he do at the moment? We'll jump on board his car in a second. So Capitano on a flying up. He is halfway round the circuit at the minute, coming up to the end of sector 2, where can... Oh, he's just disappeared back to the pit lane. Okay, so a huge group of cars here. We are currently watching Logan in the McLaren at the moment. Plenty of drivers around here at the moment, with a few drivers opting to retire from qualifying with a minute and a half to go, all having a feeling that they're not going to improve. We have got Ninja though. He's looking pretty quick at the minute on this lap. He did have a decent amount of tow from the Red Bull that he's now gotten past. He is very, very strong through that middle part of the lap there. Where can he place his Ferrari? Pretty good through this final sector at the minute, and across the line in a moment he will go. He stays third fastest and unfortunately loses a small amount of time in that final part of the lap. Oro now just under half a tenth up on his time, or just over half a tenth up on his time, sorry, and flying through the final sector, final 2 corners to go. All of his battery has been used. I don't think that's going to have helped him very much through this final bit. He is up almost 4 tenths on his time, goes up to fifth, and has done a pretty solid, pretty good time there. Well in contention for the win, looking at the times here. Only 8 tenths separating himself and the provisional pole sitter of Alex at the minute. Who else have we got on that? We've got Jensen at the minute, who's just down on his time, but it looks to have set a very good sector 2 time overall. We are in to the final couple of minutes now, the final times for all of the drivers to get some laps in. Jensen now about to cross the line for the final time in this qualifying session, has a wobble on the exit of the final corner, loses a small amount of time there. EA into the pit, Oro flying through at the minute. McCoy will be across the line in a moment. We have got a fair few other drivers. Exception crossing the line in 8th. McCoy will stay 9th fastest. We've got Will, who's just flown up into 9th. Logan into 12th there now, and Oro, Edgar has stayed in 13th place here, and that is all we have got time for in this qualifying session. Everyone has set some decent lap times. Another fairly close qualifying for everyone as well, and we've got a chance of potentially four or five drivers up for the win, and plenty of drivers all in the fight for points this race, and hopefully one very exciting qualifying, one exciting race on the way. So as we see here, Alex is your pole sitter for the race ahead. Jensen will line up ahead on the front row with him, with Ninja and EA on the second row of the grid. We should hopefully be underway in the next couple of minutes, and we will be back for lights out very, very soon. So a little rundown of how the championship looks after the opening race of the season last week in Canada, as we head for the 22 laps around Spa in a moment. It is Oro leading us away in the championship, followed by Jensen and McCoy, who all three have had a very good start to the season, and no doubt will probably aim for another very, very strong race from them three drivers, with Oro starting 5th in this race. He's going to have a bit of a task to jump ahead of the cars ahead. He's got Alex just ahead of him, who is actually a reserve driver for this race and has put in once again another I can't even remember how he did last week, my bad. He's put in pretty solid performance so far this time around to put it on pole, and no doubt will probably aim for a very nice race ahead of him. With Jensen currently in second on the grid in this race and second in the standings as well, he will probably aim to look for one better in this race, aim to try and get past Alex in the early stages and take the fight to the sour driver at the minute. He will also be trying to outscore Oro this race, try and take the lead or an early lead in the standings, and probably want to push, well, no doubt will want to push all the drivers today and fight for fight for everything on track, show everyone what he is capable of, and hopefully give all of us what should be a very good watch and some fantastic battles ahead. So I'll be back in a moment, just going to have a drink ahead of the race, and we should be underway any time really, I would think. we go then. We will have a formation lap to start us off. Alex leading us away for this, everyone keeping close, no one wanting to clearly not wanting to give too much, keep the car tyres too cool, sorry, or let alone, or some may want to keep the leaders waiting on the grid and potentially make the tyre, give them a slight disadvantage towards the end. Towards the end of the lap and start of the race, it could well pay off massively for them, but who knows? Right, let's have a little look, see what tyres everyone is on for the start of this race. So we've got Jensen, Mike and Logan on the hard tyres. We've got everyone else on the mediums. A bit of a split strategy for some of them. And we'll see how the hard runners do throughout the race. See what they can, see how long they can take them, take the tyres for, and basically just be a test for the medium tyre runners. And no doubt the hard tyre runners will be looking at seeing how far the mediums will take them. Plenty of drivers coming up to the grid. We have still got one driver though, well and truly near the back of the grid at the minute. Who is that? It is Mike at the moment, having to fly around the track, try and keep up with everyone else at the minute. So, here we go then. All of the cars now pretty much on the grid. And we'll be heading off for our 22 laps of Spa any moment now. So, here we go. 5 red lights. Righty ho, here we go, and we are off for the Spa Grand Prix, and we've got Jensen and Ninja battling out early for position 2 there, and it is a great overtake on the inside of the turn 1 there for Ninja. Jensen though fighting back pretty quickly, a good amount of early action from these two drivers, and everyone getting through a rouge nice and cleanly there. No major incidents to report, and we do have a few drivers all moving around at the back of the grid there. One driver there just going off wide. It is EA in the Alpine and dropping a couple of places now. Jensen and Ninja do swap places early on in this race. They are now second, third respectively. Alex just leading us away in this race nicely, just maintaining the lead of roughly half a second, although now up into 4th place early on is well. Exception moving, Exception has moved down a place unfortunately for him. EA dropped a couple of places. Clint looking pretty decent in 7th place at the minute. Let's see how far everyone has changed positions at the minute. Sorry, Exception has moved up a couple of places. EA has moved down a couple. Oro up 1 place. Clint and Mike have both dropped places as well early on in this race. Edgar up 4 places. He has been the big winner at the early stage of this race. We are now leading round 4 lap 2 now. We have got a moment there for one of the I want to say one of the Haas, not the Haas's, sorry, one of the Williams or the Racing Bulls having a bit of a moment, but I don't really know at this moment in time. But here is 7 coming up through Eau Rouge with P11 currently chasing down McCoy and McLaren, and McCoy will want to have another very good race there. It was glitchy cars on the right. Not sure why that one was happening. Hopefully won't be for too much longer here. But as we saw the strategies there of a medium hard on one of them and a hard medium soft. I think that said it was a 3-stop there for sure, but I can't remember exactly what it said. But hey ho, there we go. Halfway through lap 2 we go. Everyone at the front of the grid just slowly starting to space out now. We do have Alex and Ninja swapping places for the lead of the race here. The Ferrari now leading the Sauber driver, and not much time separating either of these two cars at the minute. This could be a very good battle to the end of the race, coming through the final couple of corners now. Alex will have the DRS on Ninja at the minute, and heading down the main straight. Ninja's setting the fastest lap of the race at the moment with 47.0, a pretty good lap for the opening stage of the race, and Ninja will need to deploy as much as he can through here. Alex will need to do the same as well, and through a Rouge they go, not lifting whatsoever through there from the looks of it here, and Alex once again will be having the DRS open through down the Camel Straight, retakes the lead of this race, and into P1 he goes. Jensen closing up on Ninja pretty quickly as well. Did have DRS through down the Camel Straight as well, and closing the gap to the top 2 from 9/10 of a second down to half a second, and Jensen our exception all fairly close now to the leading 2 cars, and this could be a good 5-car battle for the win here, and none of them are gonna want to give this up. They're gonna give us a strong battle to the end now. 3.5 laps in, we are here looking at Jensen at the minute in the house. We're going to move further down the grid, see what is going on here. Exception closing the gap to Oro as well. What is he able to do through to the main straight now? Did he get in time? Did he get enough? Did he gain enough time for DRS? Clearly not. We do have a yellow flag at the moment. It is not too sure what that one was for, but everyone has slowed right down. It is not entirely sure what that yellow flag was for. I believe it could have been for ice, and 7 at the minute. They are in the pits with a wing change for ice there, so clearly some sort of contact from them 2 drivers, and now both on the back foot of this race, and probably pretty committed now to a 2-stop here for them, with ice quite far behind the pack. 7 getting led off a little bit lightly there if they did make contact together, and pretty close to the pack. Alex with a 7/10 lead at the minute. Jensen and Oro in 2nd and 3rd place. Ninja unfortunately down to 4th place now. He clearly didn't quite have enough straight line speed heading down the Camel Straight to defend from the cars behind the DRS earlier on. So a lot of work to rebuild now as we head up to the main straight with the first DRS, with the second DRS zone of the lap technically here, and the top 10 extremely close in this race. All of them are going to have DRS on each other there as we see them all hurdling around the final corner. Although not making any dent in Alex's lead there, not quite enough DRS advantage heading down the start finish line there, but he will have another chance as we head out of Eau Rouge and down the Camel Straight we go. What is he going to be able to do? He does get ahead this time around, but they have swapped back again, and it is Oro leading this race at the end of the DRS straight. Not many changes further down the grid at the minute. Plenty of drivers in this fight at the minute. Exception Nose has started to pull away from EA in 6th place, and once again there is a small gap starting to build from the front 5 cars to the middle of the pack here. EA deploying some battery usage possibly to try and make a bit of a gap to himself and Clint, but also try and regain the DRS on Exception in 5th place. All a bit messed up for some reason, so I have no idea why. It's confused me as well. It even done it last week for some bizarre ass reason. So Oro and Alex having another battle for lead once again as they head down, as they were heading down the DRS zone. It is Alex back in the lead, Oro up into 2nd place at the minute, Jensen in 3rd, and Ninja in 4th place in this race. Exception pretty close behind as well in 5th place, looking a very, very strong battle for this lead. We'll head down now for this DRS game here between 6th place of EA, 7th of Clint, 8th of Mike, 9th of Edgar, and 10th of McCoy. Once again, all in a bit of a DRS battle here as well. Edgar having a bit of a moment and dropping down to 11th place. That is not something he's going to want this race, and will unfortunately probably have given his tyres a nice bit of a bold spot there. I'm not too sure 100% what happened. Looks like he went way too wide, or a bit of a drifting moment through the exit of the corner there. Who knows? So Clinton and Williams here holding off the Red Bull of Mike quite nicely. McCoy getting ahead of the Red Bull there just for a brief moment, but Mike getting back quickly and retaking 6th place. McCoy though not giving up whatsoever in this battle and trying to get past as quickly as he can. He is trying to get side by side into the turn 12, I want to say, but I'm not 100% sure. Not able to do it that time around, but does make it past now, and will try and use as much battery, but will try and get away as quick as he possibly can. Whether he uses the amount of battery he will want to use, whether he uses more or less, is down to be seen. He is currently 7 tenths ahead. He will probably, unfortunately for him, keep Mike within the DRS range, but it is all depending on whether he boxes now. There have been a few drivers coming to the pits in the last couple of laps or so. Not this time around for McCoy. He is staying out. He will move up into 3rd place here for the time being. Mike as well, staying out with him, moving up into the top 4. Alex and Jensen still battling it out closely in the lead, as we see there, with McCoy, Mike 7 seconds behind now. So we have a little battle here for 6th place between Auto Exception EA, looking for, we've also got Ninja in that as well, making some contact in the background with Exception, and that is not something we are gonna wanna see too much more of, and they are just pushing each other around. Few more pit stops happening here and there. Unfortunately for Ninja, he has dropped to 10th place after that unfortunate moment between himself, Exception, and EA, I believe it was as well. So they are in 6th and 8th respectively for them two guys, and Ninja in 10th place. He has come off the worst in the 3 wide battle round a lap ago, so he's going to have a fair bit of work to do now to try and catch up. He has got 7 ahead of him, looking to try and get past him in a moment. 7 is on a time penalty as well, so a bit of 7 will need to try and get a bit of a move on, try and push forward a little bit more to put away and gain 3 seconds between himself and Ninja, and try and keep this 9th place that he currently has currently is in hold of at the minute. Still 12 laps to go though in this race, with Ninja trying to get past 7 here. He is side by side at the moment as we head into the final 2 corners. They have kept it side by side until the final corner there, where Ninja gets ahead of 7 this time around. EA darts off into the pits for to avoid any battle with these two. Ninja and 7 looking to make the move. Does the Williams driver there, not quite able to do anything this time around. It looked as if there was some sort of contact there between them into turn 1. 7 going slightly wide on the exit of Rouge there, and down the Camel Straight they go. 7 just getting past there, loving the jumping around car that we see heading through the Camel Straight, but never mind. Luckily, that shouldn't be happening as of next week, if all goes to plan. And Ninja getting back past 7 there, back into 9th place, up into 8th place he goes, sorry, as we saw them two battling it out. Still nice and strong between 2 drivers. And 7's tyres slowly starting to get worn here, and we probably need to head into the pits very soon. We'll see how old his tyres are. They are 6 lap old tyres here. You can really see the difference between the 2 lap old mediums and the 6 lap old mediums. Tyre wear for Spa is absolutely horrible, but a fair few drivers going to try and push a one-stop out by the looks of it here. We've got Mike and Jensen currently on 10 lap old hard tyres. Oro setting the fastest lap of a 46.3 here, and aiming for I can't remember what I was going to say now, the loud noise put me off. Let's head towards the back of the grid here. We do see a battle between, or at least Capitano and Pizza, I believe that is, pretty close together there. It is, yeah. Pizza and Capitano at the moment pretty close together. We've also got Adrian heading out the pit lane in a minute for his first stop of the race, I believe it is, to the next medium tyres. He is probably going to aim to go long on this set, maybe try and squeeze a quicker tyre in the end, maybe just maybe just go short here and aim for the hard tyres for the end. We'll see what he does. At the minute he's 10 seconds behind Capitano at the minute. He's got a bit of catching up to do to the pack, along with the Sauber of Badder at the back there at the moment as well. Will be probably quite close between those guys come the end of the race, and hopefully for them they can also catch up here as well. So Jensen, lovely lead for himself at the moment, roughly 13.5 seconds ahead. We've got Oro now second place. He's got past Mike with DRS at the start of the Camel Straight. He is now chasing down Jensen in the Haas at the minute for P1. And what can Oro do in the final 10 laps here? And he is on the much fresher tyre at the minute. Jensen still needs to make his pit stop. He's getting closed down extremely quickly now as well, with plenty of other drivers on much fresher tyres at the minute, looking for this race lead at some point in potentially the next 4 to 5 laps. Could any one of these guys be leading this race? So we've got Alex and Mike swapping places. Alex on 2 hold hard tyres. Mike just starting to struggle on those much more worn tyres at the minute. And is he going to jump into the pits this time around? Not now. He's going to risk it, stay out once again for another lap. Jensen also doing the same. They are wanting to not stop, make the 2 stop viable for them. They just want to do this 1 stop, try and push as far as they can at the minute, and realistically I don't blame them too much. Can work quite nicely if it pays off for them. Exception gonna have the DRS on Clint in a moment. Unfortunately not able to make much work this time around, and will stay in 6th place, a little bit too far back for him at the minute. Clint also quite close to Mike at the minute. Where will these guys end up come the next few corners? Can Mike hold off the Williams and his teammate of Exception for another few laps? Will he try and hold Clint up and play a bit of a team game with the Red Bull behind as well? Try and help Exception out and possibly let them both by at the same time. See how this unfolds in a moment. Clint will be a fair bit quicker heading down the bit of a straight here. Unfortunately going slightly wide, gonna have hampered his run onto the final few corners here, as Clint just holds off Exception this time around. Not able to do much more there. Mike heading off into the pits. Clint having a huge wobble on the exit of the final corner there. Exception up into 4th place. Clint in 5th. Ninja now up into 6th place and joining this battle for the top 4. Where can he be come the end of this lap? He's looked pretty strong so far this race, and for the Ferrari team that has looked pretty strong last week, can they give off another good race this time around? Ninja just closing on Clint is just bit by bit as we head round for the middle part of this lap right now. Clint just trying to stay in within DRS range of Exception as we head down now to the middle part of the sector 2 here, where, well, when will Clint make this move? He's got the pace and Exception at the minute. Can he do it before the DRS and put away before the start finish line, or will he wait and just sit behind him and wait for the DRS to put him even further down the main straight? Will we see Jensen jump into the pits this time around? We have seen him there on our mini-map. Head to the pits. Alex and Oro swapping places as well as they head into the final corner from what we see on our mini-map as well. Oro jumping into the pits. Clint just sitting behind Exception as we head into the final couple of corners now. We've also got Ninja in this battle, just slowly crept up as we've been watching these two hold each other off here, and Clint not making the move this time around. Will he get it done on the camel straight shortly? We will see in a moment. Jensen coming out in 2nd place there. He's now 5 seconds behind the leader Alex, and Alex has got to try and put away now if he's got any chance of keeping Jensen behind on the much quicker tyre that he's going to be on. So Clint just looking to make the move at the end of Camel Straight there, not able to do anything. Ninja was also not quite close enough to make any move pay off there, and Exception still leads this little battle away for the final podium position, and both Exception and Clint are on time penalties at the minute. Ninja looks to be inheriting P3 at the minute, and he gets past Clint up into P4. The Ferrari driver goes. Clint is going to be kicking himself that he's left the door open slightly there, and unfortunately for the Williams, it has put him down to P5 and just a little bit more out of reach of the podium there. He's going to have to hope that the Ferrari behind will have some sort of moment, but I don't think he is. Ninja has looked pretty strong since his pit stop, and he's heading into the pits now. Clint follows him behind, and these two guys going for the fresh tyre and trying to get the undercut done on Exception for this race. Exception now, P3 will have a bit of a gap to McCoy and Oro behind. Edgar as well in the Aston Martin, both of the Aston Martins in the top 6 currently, and looking pretty strong for their team as well at the minute. Mike just behind Edgar at the minute. He is going to try and get past down in the DRS zone. We approach here now, and the Red Bull DRS wide open, getting past the Aston Martin nicely and clear, well clear as they head out of the DRS zone there, with Mike getting fastest sector 1 at the minute. This looks to be a pretty strong lap so far. What can the Red Bull do? Can he go on and push on for a top 5 spot? He's only 4 seconds behind Oro at the minute, who is potentially gonna have DRS as we head down the main straight shortly. They are at the end of sector 2 they go. They are also very close now to a provisional podium spot as well between Oro and McCoy, and Exception also looking for that podium spot. He will probably box in the next lap or so with a Red Bull driver. Jensen selling a 45.5 for the fastest lap of the race at the minute, and Exception has stayed out this time around, and it is whether he is trying to keep, but he is on the hard tyres, so fair enough, he is going to try and keep these going to the end of the race. He has been on them quite a bit longer than Oro and McCoy, and he's got a bit of a task ahead of him to keep these two behind. Oro having the DRS on Exception, heading down the straight here and getting past pretty nicely for the Aston Martin driver up into P3, Exception down to P4, and McCoy chasing in the McLaren in the nice chrome looking McLaren this time around at the minute. So what can McCoy do? He also has Mike chasing down in the second Red Bull behind him. It is going to be a close call between these few drivers with 5 laps to go. Anything is up for play in this race, and with not many gaps between drivers, these can close pretty quickly with the pace of some of these guys at the minute. They've gone 17 laps so far, nothing really perhaps major between any of them. Some very close battles from what we've seen, especially towards the front of the field at the minute, and the biggest gap currently being Oro and Jensen of 12.5 seconds, but that could close pretty quickly at the minute, with 7 and Pizza also a fairly big gap at the minute. This could also close anything is possible at the minute. We've got EA heading into the pits for his fastest, for his final stop at the lap, potentially aiming for the fastest lap of the race. He does have a 10-second penalty as he headed into the pit lane as well. That is unfortunate for him. And McCoy, an exception, swapping places as we've seen there. This is a three-way battle for P4 at the minute. This is extremely close between these guys, and anything is gonna happen. McCoy just getting close to the gearbox of the Red Bull ahead, with Mike taking taking the advantage through the start of sector 2 there, and that looked a very close exit to the Camel Straight, probably a lot further away than what it actually looked, but gave us a little bit of a tense moment between them for a moment. Mike driving away off into the distance from these guys now, and Edgar slowly creeping up to the back of the McLaren driver. And what is he going to do heading into the main straight in a minute? It is going to be extremely close. He will have DRS on the two cars ahead. McCoy will have it on exception. So what will happen here, we'll see any minute now. And Edgar with the DRS, not able to get close enough. McCoy as well, not able to do too much down into turn 1, and exception will survive another few corners ahead of these two guys here, and possibly, if he can get a decent exit down through the Camel Straight, will he be able to hold off McCoy once again? He is closing, he is gonna possibly make a move into the exit corner there. Not able to do much this time around. Did close the gap by quite a lot, but not too much of a pace advantage to get past there. Unfortunately for Edgar, he wasn't able to keep the gap close enough, and has dropped a little bit off from the two ahead. He has slowly caught some of that back row, and McCoy going around inside of exception there, makes the move look quite nice through the middle of sector 2 there, and heading down for the strange straight bit of the circuit here of sector 3, heading into the final couple of corners and pulling a nice gap from exception now. Does have Edgar though, who's got past the Red Bull driver, and will have DRS, who is going to come out on top in turn 1 there. Edgar looking a little bit closer than the previous couple of attempts into turn 1, but not able to do too much there. Exception having a bit of a moment, going slightly wider than he probably planned into turn 1. Clint and Ninja having their own little battle at the back of this as well, and closed the gap to McCoy and Edgar pretty quickly over the previous 2 laps, and anything can be done now at the end of the Camel Straight. Not able to do too much this time around, and we have a 5-car battle here for P5 on five car battle for P5 at the minute. What can these guys do? A small bit of contact towards the back here, not too much of a problem though for any of them, as exception just gets passed by Ninja and Clint and drops down to P9. That is unfortunate for him. He was having quite a good race up until these final few laps here, as we head for the final 2 laps of the race, we've got Jensen leading this race at the moment, followed by Alex and Oro in the top 3 at the minute, occupying the 3 podium places currently. So these few drivers here slowly pulling away from Exception and Will in the background, as we see there. Clint and Ninja having a battle into turn 1. Ninja trying to make a move up the inside of turn 1, not able to do too much there. Almost side by side for a Rouge, but not able to actually get past it properly this time around. But Ninja with the DRS making the move at the end of down the mid part of the Kimmel Straight, and nicely past Clint there into P7. This is going to be a good result for a few of these drivers here. McCoy currently occupying 5th place, looking strong so far. Does unfortunately have a time penalty in this final bit over these past few laps, and unfortunately dropped a few places. A couple of places in this race at the end. Few drivers behind him also having time penalties as well. Will on the back of Exception now in this race. I was not really expecting Exception to be battling for 10th place towards the end of this. I thought he may have been nicely in 9th place, but Will has done extremely well to catch up to Exception there, and up into 9th place now there as well. And will he be able to put away into the after the final couple of corners? Up into turn 1 he goes in a moment. We are now on the final lap of the race. Clint has had a moment there in the start of the final lap, and that is definitely not what the Williams driver would have wanted. He is now down into 10th place and looking like he could potentially be staying there now, and not the end of the race he would have wanted now as either. So Exception with DRS on the Kimmel Straight. We've got a fair few movers ahead of us now. We've got Ninja McCoy and Edgar all fighting out 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. Not able to do too much here. We've had a bit of contact by the looks of it at some point between these two drivers. Ninja having some wing damage on the left hand side there, and that is definitely not what he's going to want through sector 2 of the circuit. It is not easy with any amount of wing damage there, and that is going to be hampering him a lot through this part of the circuit. So as we head through the final few corners for Jensen, he has come through the checkered flag. He takes the win in Spa. Alex comes home in 2nd with Oro in 3rd place. Adam unfortunately being the only lap car there in 19th place and crossing the line shortly after them guys. Oro crosses the line in 3rd place. A great race for the top 3 drivers there. Mike in 4th place. Edgar, McCoy and Oro the next 3 to cross the line in 5th, 6th and 7th. Some strong battles there for them guys in this race, and a nice group of cars of Will, Clint and Exception coming across the line in 8th, 9th and 10th respectively there. EA in 11th place, 7 in 12th place. A last lap battle between Mr. G and Pizza here as they come through the final couple of corners. We will see the tail end of the battle here. Will Mr. G be able to get past? Not able to do too much this time around, and they will come across the line in 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th and 17th for them guys. Logan in 15th place, Ice in 14th, Capitano in 17th and Arja in the Sauber. Coming across the line in 18th place for him. So with plenty of time penalties, mixing up a lot of this grid towards the end there, and 7 unfortunately dropping from 12th place to 17th place. We've had some fantastic battles in this race, we've had some close calls in this race, and hopefully we'll be will last all season for a lot of these battles, and this should bring probably one of the closest seasons potentially, or at least that I've seen at times through here. So as we round it off here, we've got Jensen, Alex, Oro as your top 3 there. Mike, Edgar, Ninja, McCoy, Will, Clint, Exception, EA, Pizza, Mr. G, Ice, Logan, 7, Capitano, Badger, and Adam rounding off the grid. And a brilliant race all there, and thank you everyone for watching. We'll be back next week for what should be another great bit of racing. So until then, thank you all and goodbye.